UX is tough, not because of the work itself, but because of everything around it. The pressure, the politics, the self-doubt. Joe Natoli has been through it all, and for more than 30 years, he's been helping UXers and designers find their way through the challenges that really make or break a career. Not the wireframes or design tools, but impostor syndrome, office politics, bad bosses, and learning to stand your ground. This is Making UX Work, where he tackles the battles no boot camp, book, or conference ever prepares you for, and shows you how to come out stronger on the other side.
Here's a harsh truth that they don't tell you in any design or UX school. Being good is not enough. Your work can be clean, thoughtful, well-researched, deeply user-centered, and still be ignored, still get steamrolled, still never see the light of day. And no, it's not because you suck. It's because this job is about more than the work. When I was really early in my career, I kept thinking if I just make the best design, they'll see, they'll understand, they'll get it, they'll change. I really thought that quality was the whole game. And in my first internship, for example, these ad guys that I was around all the time, that was their whole thing. They're like, good work wins the day. Good work wins the day. So I really thought that was it, right? If you have quality, people will see it. People will stand up and recognize it. And then I watched mediocre work get approved while better work got buried. I watched louder voices get buy-in while smarter ideas were completely ignored and unrecognized. I watched people with a hell of a lot less skill, but a hell of a lot more confidence run the room. And that pissed me off until I realized something. I wasn't being undervalued because the work was bad. I was being ignored because I wasn't playing the right game. What do I mean by that? Well, there are two games that are happening in any design and UX job. Okay, the first game is the craft game, and that's where you focus on your craft, usability, clarity, logic, systems thinking, et cetera, et cetera. And the second game is the influence game, where you focus on relationships, timing, positioning, strategic storytelling. Now, the problem with design schools and boot camps, university programs, whatever, online courses, is that they only teach you the first game, the craft game. But in the real world, you can be damn sure that it is the second game that determines whether or not your work gets used. Now, let me be clear about something. I am not saying that you should play political games with people. I'm saying that you're already in politics, whether you acknowledge it or not. Okay, you are. That's the game. Everything from how you present your work to when you share it to who you loop in early, all that stuff matters. And if you ignore that side of the work, you're going to keep wondering why your best ideas, best solutions never land. So what do? You get better at the second game. All right, you learn how to frame your ideas in terms of business value. Stop saying, well, this design is better, or it's better UX practice to do this. Start saying this design will reduce support calls. This design is going to increase conversion. This workflow will cut down calls to customer service. You also have to build relationships well before you need them. Okay, influence doesn't happen in meetings. It happens over repeated instances of direct messages, one-on-ones, casual check-ins. You also have to learn to anticipate resistance. All right, you need to know ahead of time who's going to push back and why they're going to push back. And you work proactively to address their concerns before they ever have a chance to say them out loud. And part of that is timing your delivery. Okay, the best idea delivered at absolutely the wrong time is going to die on arrival every single time. So you got to pay attention to context, right? You got to know when the room is ready for whatever it is that you have to deliver. Part of the way you figure out whether the room is ready or not is by getting in the habit of inviting feedback early, all the time, from everybody, okay? People support what they help shape. The more someone contributes, the more invested they become in what this is. You don't have to sacrifice your standards. You don't have to sell out, but you do have to speak the language of your audience, okay? If your PM thinks in KPIs, you don't show them emotional journey maps or qualitative research findings. If your executives are obsessed with speed, you don't lead with a 4-week research plan. You meet them where they are. That's not dumbing it down. That's making it land, right? It's also not manipulation. It's communicating in a language that the person on the receiving end actually recognizes. All right. Now you might be thinking again, Well, but shouldn't good work speak for itself? Yeah, sure, it should, in theory. But we don't work in theory. We work in meetings and Slack and Zoom and high-stakes decks and low attention spans and bullshit meetings. And in those rooms, good work has to be translated, positioned, advocated for, or it dies. So here's the deal. Absolutely keep doing excellent work, but stop expecting it to be enough on its own. Get strategic, get social, get emotionally intelligent about how ideas move through your particular organization. All right? You're not just designing screens. You're not just conducting research. You're designing and developing buy-in. You're designing and developing momentum. You are designing and developing change. If you care about the work you do and you want it to survive, being good is not enough.
You've been listening to Making UX Work with Joe Natoli. Honest talk about the hidden challenges that shape a design career. See you next time. And until then, onward and upward.